Hello everyone, welcome to week 3. It is Monday, February 21st. In the last clip you saw me, it was Monday, February 14th, about a week ago. That was my last load of the week, and then I took a few days off at home. It was really nice to relax and reset, and then also to buy some stuff for the van that I really needed. So I told my carrier that I would be ready to go back out on the road on Friday. Friday came around and he didn't have anything for me, no loads, no work. Same with Saturday, and then also Sunday, there was just no work. I know the weekend it's pretty typical not to have anything, but I thought that at least maybe Friday I would get something. But here we are on Monday. I got something this morning, leaving out of Lincoln, Nebraska. It was about 47 miles from me. So I picked that load up. It was about 120 pounds total over 2 boxes. So I just carried one myself, and then one of the other workers helped me. I know some people were pretty shocked in my last week video that I was like touching the loads and moving loads and stuff. I think that comes from some sort of false advertising on the carrier's part. I see a lot of them advertising new jobs, and they say like no touch delivery, no touch pickup, the driver doesn't do anything. But from my experience, like 50% of the pickups and drop-offs, you are doing stuff if the boxes are smaller and they're not on a pallet. And it's also a weird situation because the worker came up to me and he offered to help me. He's like, you get 1 box, I get 1 box. And I was like, okay, great. And I'm not just gonna be a jerk and be like, actually, you have to load both the boxes into my van while I just stand here watching you. Like, that would just be weird. And it helps him get back to work quicker and me, so I just helped him and I was on my way. So the load is going from Lincoln, Nebraska to Kansas City, Missouri. And like I said, I already went from Omaha to Lincoln to get the package. So in total, I think it's around 240 miles about. Maybe less, maybe like 237 or something. And we were getting paid $350. The $350 is of course before the split, so I'm getting 80% of that, which will probably come out to like $300. I don't know, I haven't done the math on it yet. So it's definitely above $1 a mile, which from what I've heard, I know that's still not great, but compared to what I got last week, it's a lot better. So I went to the location they told me to go, but then they said I arrived too early and they weren't expecting me. So they sent me to a different location and I just dropped it off, got the signature. I got the print signature, but then I sent it to my dispatch and he made me go back in and get a signed signature. So just make sure you get the signed and print. Now there was a little confusion when I went to pick up the boxes. So I'm with a certain company called something logistics, and then sometimes he'll tell me, my dispatch, he will tell them you're with this other company, this other logistics carrier. Then it gets even more complicated because for this specific scenario, the boxes had a label from a totally different third carrier. Boxes were all ready to go, they were just by the door, but we had to wait like 25 minutes to get confirmation from the broker that that was actually our load to take. So it's really annoying how many middlemen there are in this industry. Like, you got the brokers, the shippers, the carriers. There's just so many moving parts and there's so much miscommunication because there has to be so many people involved in each deal, which I don't really understand quite yet, but maybe that's just the way it is. So yeah, we are right outside of the Kansas City International Airport, $350. We'll keep like 300-ish. So not bad for like 4 hours of work. I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'm gonna ask him if there's a possibility he could find loads going back and forth from Kansas City to Lincoln or Kansas City to Omaha, because I'd really prefer that, because then I could, stay at home at night at least, and I feel like it would just make things easier. Like, I would prefer that and maybe take a pay cut, because I don't know, I'm still not sure if this is like, if this is the lifestyle I want to have. I think a lot of people might have the impression that I did before I started this, that, you've done all these crappy jobs your whole life, and then now you're like, oh wow, I'm going to do something like more freeing and more independent. From what I've seen in reality, you're really just trading one job for another. You do get a little bit more independence, obviously, and it's not like your boss is right next to you the whole time, and you don't have to deal with, customers for the most part, like retail kind of stuff. But, it's still a job and you're still dealing with annoying things, and you're still, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, I think unless you become an actual like owner, not owner operator, but I mean, unless you actually start your own business, like your own authority, it's still gonna feel very much like you're just, an employee in the machine. So that's why I'm really happy that my dad and I are moving forward with getting our authority. I actually paid $300 yesterday on Sunday to do our filing fee for the FMCSA. I still have to finish parts of the application and do the rest of the stuff. It's kind of complicated, but at least we have that in the works. All right, guys, it is Wednesday, February 23rd. We are sitting here in my room at my desk, A lot has happened since that last clip on Monday. I'm gonna go into it right now, give you a little synopsis. So if you watched week 1 and week 2, you know I've basically had issues from the start with my carrier, my dispatcher. I've called him my boss before, which is not the right term, I now know. Yeah, I've had issues from the start. The paperwork he sends me, it's always cut off. I never get the full information. When the brokers try to call me before, he's always like, don't answer, don't talk to them, which I thought was normal at the time. I still don't really know if it is. And then when I did talk to them once, he got mad. Like, and then every time I went to pick up a package, he would give me a different name to say I'm under. So, you know, his company name would be blank blank LLC. He would say, okay, you're gonna be Circle Logistics. Tell them you're Circle Logistics. So then I tell them that and pick up the package for Circle Logistics. And then another time he would say, you're ASAP Expedite, like on Monday. Tell them you're ASAP Expedite, you know. And he would just always give me a different company name, which someone in the comments told me that it sounds like he's engaging in double brokering, which is a term I've heard before. I never really looked into it much because when I was doing my initial research for expediting cargo, I knew I wasn't gonna be a broker, so I just thought it wasn't important to, you know, delve into that too much. But now I know I was wrong. I still don't really know. I did as much research as I could trying to figure out exactly like what is double brokering. Is he doing this? Is that even illegal? I don't know. It's just messy and I still don't really know all the answers. My dad and I were frustrated with him anyway for a lot of other reasons, like I had mentioned. Monday, after that load in Kansas City, I just drove home to Omaha. He told me there weren't any loads anyway. He said I was actually the only driver in his fleet, or out of all his drivers that had gotten a load that day. So yeah, I drove home, and then yesterday on Tuesday he said he had a load for me, and I just told him like, hey, I don't really know, you know, if over the road is for me. I think I'm gonna take a break. Well, I didn't really say that. I said like I'm kind of done. Like I'm gonna be done. I might look for local stuff, but you know, thanks for the opportunity or whatever. Because I did ask him, you know, on Monday, you know, how come every time I go to a place, it's never under your company? And I asked him like flat out, like, are you just a dispatcher? Because somebody in my comments also said like, it sounds like he's just a dispatcher and he's taking like 20%, which for just a dispatcher is a large fee. But I just couldn't get a straight answer from him. He never was, I don't know, never was 100% on anything. Like he couldn't give me the straight answer. So I don't know, it just felt weird. So I told him I was done. We parted ways. He seemed fine with it. Obviously, I'm not gonna like outright accuse him of anything because I don't really even know what I would accuse him of. It's probably best that I work with another carrier because I need experience with multiple carriers anyway. You know, my thought is that if I only have experience working with one company, I really won't be able to compare and contrast and know if I'm getting a raw deal or not. And I'm still learning a lot in the industry in general. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody who comments on these videos and gives me helpful tips and feedback and kind of is helping to look out for me. I fully admit that I am naive to this industry and I am a complete newbie. I'm trying to figure this out as I go. So I appreciate, you know, any help. I also had said in the comments, you know, my dad and I did a lot of research before doing this, but it came to a point where we couldn't get all the answers we needed, and we realized that we needed to just jump in and start to really see the truth of this business, of this lifestyle, of this industry. So like I said previously, on Sunday, I had started the process of filing for our authority, our MC authority. So I paid the $300 fee, got that in the works. And then today I spent about 2 hours on the FMCSA website working on the paperwork more. They make things so convoluted and difficult to understand in my opinion. The website is just all over the place. It takes so long to get an answer on anything, and you just have to dig and dig through links and horribly designed site pages, and it's just a mess. But I think I finally found that we have an MC, we have a docket number, MC number, same difference. Our status is we're in the 10-day protesting period, and so we're like step 2 or step 3 out of 6. So we're on the way, we're moving along. It just kind of, it was difficult to figure out, but we're doing it. And then in the meantime, I have been applying to other carriers because, you know, this whole MC thing could take a month or longer. So I want to keep moving, keep my wheels on the road. I applied to 4 or 5. I emailed them, and I'm going to show you those emails now so you can see what I wrote and what the responses are. All right, so please excuse the abrupt microphone switch, but it was just a lot easier to use my mic that's already plugged into my computer. We are in my email right here. So I've applied to like, I think 4 or 5 different carriers. This was the first one. So I said, hello, Yana. My name is Jacob Green, currently looking to switch to a new carrier company. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, willing to go over the road for 2 weeks at a time. I'll put my info below. And then I just put my info about my vehicle, my insurance, driving record, age, the tools I'm using. And then I just said, I'd like to know more about how you guys operate and what rates your drivers are getting. If you need more information from me, please let me know. I hope to hear from you soon. And then I added some pictures. This is very much what I told you guys to do in the video I did about finding quality work fast. It's kind of ironic now because the carrier I found, wasn't that quality. But even so, still the majority of people are going to be found on Facebook. Even Monday night and Tuesday night, I actually did go on Indeed just to, I was like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I can find stuff on Indeed. And I applied to like 2 or 3 job listings. There weren't even that many. You can't even find that many, but I just never heard back from them. So I think my theory is right that the traditional job sites, they just don't work as well. So I sent this 13 hours ago last night. I haven't heard back yet. And then here's the second person with a different logistics company and the same thing. And then he said he's going to check my state. And then he said, greetings again, Mr. Green. This is Samuel with Advantage Logistics. Fortunately, there are too many applicants in the state of Nebraska. And so they closed their hiring season. Yeah, he said he's going to put me on the waiting list. But yeah, I don't know. That could take forever. And by the way, all these names and emails, they're all publicly available. You can find them on the Facebook groups. That's how I found them. So I'm not like exposing anybody here. And then I did the same thing with this company, Precise Transportation. And she said that I would need to have a passport along with my driver license and registration. And I said, passport's expired, but I'm a US citizen. I was born here. What should I do? She said, I'm sorry, but this is the policy of our company. We need to have these documents so we can make cooperation. I'm sorry. Wish you luck. So that kind of sucks. I don't know why they need to have the passport. It's kind of strange, but I don't know, I guess it's their policy. And then I emailed this lady because I found her post on Facebook, but then I realized she was with the same company as the other guy that rejected me because of my state. And then I did email a fourth person, just the same exact thing, but I haven't heard from them as well. So Delta Express, waiting for response, Select Logistics waiting, and then these other two, no bueno. So it's only been like, not even a day since I applied. I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm like doubting myself because it was nice with my carrier I worked with before because he got me working like pretty much right away, like it was really quick. But, in hindsight, I was like, maybe he wasn't doing things by the book. Like he wasn't getting everything checked that needed to get checked. So, I feel like I just need to have a little bit more patience. I don't think it's going to happen as quick this time, but at least in the meantime, I have the authority stuff, rolling. So yeah, nevertheless, I just wanted to show you guys the honest process of me leaving a carrier and looking for another one. I will keep you guys updated on the progress and hopefully we can find some work and get back on the road. All right. It is Friday, February 25th. I feel like I've been going crazy this week doing research and trying to figure out exactly how this industry works and what's going on, what I'm doing. On Wednesday night, as I was applying to those different companies through emails, like I had showed you, I got in contact with somebody who owns a carrier business, has about almost 30 drivers, over 25 drivers, and he actually has a channel on YouTube as well with a few thousand subscribers, really informative stuff. So I had sent my default email to him asking if he had any positions open as an owner, operator, driver, and he asked why I was switching carriers. He thought it was strange, and I told him all my reasons that I've explained to you guys in the videos, and he could tell I was a little bit confused about how this all works. So he actually offered to get on a call with me. So on Wednesday night, we had a really awesome call, about 15-20 minutes, and he broke down so many things that I was so confused on, from hearing completely different opinions on the same topic from different people. And yeah, this week has been like my brain has completely shifted in how I see things. But basically, I'm going to tell you some of the things that he brought to light to me. I feel like I finally have my head on straight and I know how things work much better. So the first thing he said, the whole thing where I go to pick up a load and, I'm saying I'm under a different name, like, oh, I'm under Circle Logistics or under ASAP Expedite. He said that's actually completely normal. What happens is that these loads go from the broker, they get rebrokered constantly, rebrokered, resold, until they finally reach somebody who's going to deliver the product. And I found out that Circle Logistics is actually, it's a broker company. It's one of the brokers. It's not one of the, I was just under the impression that it was a carrier and that for some reason we were delivering for this carrier under my carrier's name. So yes, Circle Logistics is a broker. ASAP Expedite is a broker. Whenever I go to these places and I give them the name that my carrier tells me, I'm giving them the broker's name because since the broker is the original person who got the load, we have to represent ourselves as them when we pick it up. So he said basically that it could be different every single time you go to pick up a load. You're always representing yourself as whatever broker this specific load is through. And he said that this even happens sometimes in the semi-truck world. He said not as much, maybe like half the time, but it's very common. So I was super surprised. I just feel so stupid. I mean, I listened to some people in my comments who were like, this is shady, something's going on here. And like, I should have thought more about like the source, where the source is coming from, because this guy who owns this company, he said, don't listen to anybody who's not in the business that we are in. Like, don't listen to anybody who's not actually doing the job day to day. And this guy, he literally does it day to day. He posted on YouTube. And like I said, he has like over 25 drivers working under him. So yeah, I should have considered that more before I made like big decisions like leaving my carrier. And that's another reason why I don't mention the carrier I was working for, because like I said previously, I'm not trying to accuse him of anything because I didn't even know what I was accusing him of. And now it turns out that I was completely wrong to even think that there was really something up. Yes, I still had issues with him in other areas, like, the fact that I had to do that 18-hour drive in that 24-hour time frame. There wasn't time to sleep. I think that was in week 2. Yeah, week 2. But this guy that I talked to on the phone call, he basically said, when I go to a new carrier, that's just something I need to bring up in the first place. Like, if you can't do direct loads overnight, you need to bring that up to the carrier before they bring you on, because that's why carriers are very specific about what drivers they bring on, because some people can't do certain things. He said, for example, he has some drivers that can go 3,000 miles direct and like not stop, not sleep, and then he has others who can't even go like 300 miles without stopping for something, which is probably the category I'm in. I stop for gas, stop to go to the restroom, just to walk. Like, I'm kind of a slower driver, so I'm not sure if so I just need to be more upfront when I go to carriers. Like, I can't do specific things because I just feel like it might not be unsafe for other people, but it's unsafe for me because I'm not used to this lifestyle yet, basically. And about the whole thing about the loads constantly being brokered and resold, he said the reason why that might happen is, say Circle Logistics, they get the load, they're giving it out to a carrier, then that carrier might not have capacity, so they might resell it to another carrier, and then that carrier for some reason might resell it, so it can keep going and going before it actually gets to the specific carrier and owner operator who's going to deliver the load. So yeah, I feel pretty bad about just like leaving my carrier I was with, because from everything I saw, like, he wasn't really doing anything wrong. It was just my own naivete, my own inexperience, and then listening to the wrong people and not seeking out people who've actually been in the industry for a long time. It's mostly on me. So I feel like I've learned a lot. I've thought about reaching out to him and saying like, hey, can I come back? Like, I don't know. I haven't fully decided yet because, we have this authority stuff in the works. And I don't want to rejoin with them and then just leave in like 2 weeks when we got our authority and we go out on our own, So yeah, it's kind of a crappy situation, but yeah, I'm leaving the clips that I filmed before, like on Monday and Wednesday, where I was saying all that stuff. I thought about taking those out because there's incorrect information, but I'm leaving it in because the whole thing is to be honest about the process I'm going through as I'm trying to figure this all out. So if you watch week 1 to week 3 and forward, you're gonna get the full story. But yeah, so it's been a very enlightening week. I finally feel like I have a grasp about how everything works and how everything, goes on. And basically just, I thought I was asking enough questions, but it just tells me, I need to ask more questions. I need to keep researching and trying to get as much information as I possibly can get. So that's where we're at right now. It's Friday. I'm gonna try to spend the weekend installing some e-tracks into my van so that once we get up and running again, I can finally get maybe a couple pallets at a time, or just in general, it's better to have easier to secure the cargo. So yeah, not doing much at the moment. So yeah, but that's the update. I'm feel a lot better than I was at the start of the week, and we will see where we go from here.